I'm Mariette, and today we have a lovely surprise for you. I'm speaking to an international singing artist. But before we get there, stage fright is certainly something that every performer deals with on a lesser or more basis, but every one of us really experiences that. And I wondered if one becomes an accomplished performer like Georgina Hagen, if that is really still a problem for her. Let's ask her. Hi, Georgina. So nice of you to join us.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Georgina, I see that you have been singing your way through world stages for the past more than 20 years. Yeah. That's a very long time. And I see productions here like Judy Garland Storybook, yeah, and of course, Starlight Express. Please tell us a bit more about yourself.
Okay, so I did my first West End show when I was 7 years old in 1998. I was in the production of Annie in the Victoria Palace Theatre up in London with my mum. My mum was also in the production with me. So I started from a very young age. Both of my parents are in the performing industry. My dad is a musician. My mum is a performer like me, both very well accomplished. So I didn't really have a choice but to go into this industry. So I have been doing it since I was really young, and I am still doing it now. And I am so proud of the career that I've had so far, and hopefully it's not over yet.
Oh no, it's only the beginning. Definitely. But I can see that performing is in your blood, literally in your genes. You got it through your birth, part of your birthright.
Yes, I did.
Yes. What would be some of the highlights of your career?
Wow. So one of the highlights for me comes from, so I have been part of Starlight Express for 5 years in total. I started in 2010 and did 4 years back to back. I played Dinah, the dining car, and then was bumped up to First Class Pearl, which is the leading lady of that show. And I played that part for 3 years. But most importantly, during that time period, I was the Pearl for the 25th anniversary of the show in Germany, which was amazing. I got to be on their last album, which was wonderful, like a huge milestone for Starlight Express, but also for me getting to be a part of such a kind of a momentous occasion in the show's history. And then they asked me back in 2018 to be Pearl for the 30th anniversary, which was a completely brand new show, rewritten by Lloyd Webber. Got to work with the Lord himself, 1-to-1, which was incredible and very surreal and very scary. So yeah, that for me, being a part of two big kind of, milestones in the show's history was amazing. That and getting to be a part of, I was in a musical called Groundhog Day, which was at the Old Vic in London, and I was with that show from the very beginning stages, so from original workshops all the way up to production, and working with the likes of Tim Minchin, who's an amazing songwriter, comedian, actor, singer, you name it, he is it. Getting to work with him kind of 1-to-1 and over the space of about 3 years was incredible also. Two massive highlights. I have loads. I could talk forever, but I'll pick those two.
Leave the lows for now. But I'm just a little bit more curious about Lloyd Webber. What do you remember, or what really struck you about him?
Well, I had heard these, of course, we had heard these stories as a company about how we should be around him, how he will be with us. And I mean, for us in musical theatre, that man is royalty. We may as well have had the Queen walk into the room. He is such a genuine human being. He is so humble, considering he is Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber. I think that gives him the rights to be, you know, I don't know, pompous or whatever. He's just not that. He is so lovely. He is so approachable, which was one of the things that I loved the most about him, is that I could just walk up to him and ask him a question if I had one, and he would answer it. You would think that he would have people around him that you would have to kind of fight through to get to him, but no, he's just a normal guy doing his thing, and he is so lovely. I have nothing but good things to say about the man. Honestly, he's wonderful.
Oh, that's good to hear. Do you really still suffer from stage fright?
Occasionally, yeah, of course. I think every performer does, and I think it depends on each individual as to whether they succumb to the stage fright or if they can channel it to and use it. I've had a couple of incidences myself where I've been so nervous that I've either fluffed lines on stage, forgotten lines. My first ever performance of Starlight Express, where you have skates strapped to your feet. I did the show in Germany, so I was singing in German. I'd only had 3 months, sounds like a long time, but I'd only had 3 months of rehearsal. Everything was completely alien to me, and I felt sick. In fact, I was sick before the show. I was so nervous that I was throwing up. Not my finest moment.
Did the stage fright and the nerves actually cause a physical illness in you?
Oh, of course, yeah. I've known people to have panic attacks. I have, suffered with nausea and the not nice things. Yeah, it can be a really debilitating thing to suffer from. I know a lot of really accomplished performers who really suffer.
And it doesn't seem to get better. It affects people in different ways, but it's the strangest thing. Doesn't matter how long you've been on stage, you still get that same feeling in a lesser or more way, but
Absolutely.
it just suddenly seems to attack you.
Absolutely. And it's funny how from one minute it can feel like adrenaline, and then the next minute it changes and you know that you've been struck by it. I can't really explain the feeling, but it's like it goes from being kind of nervous butterflies to being this kind of sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. And you know that it's coming. And as I say, it depends on the person or how badly each individual suffers as to whether they can channel those nerves and use that in their performance, or whether they completely just give in to them. And it's if you give in to them that it can have some really nasty effects on people.
Now, of course, I would like to know, in your experience and doing this for so many years, have you found a way, a recipe for dealing with this?
I have. So every first night that I have been a part of, I've kind of forced myself into a routine, a very similar routine from show to show. It differs, obviously, from whichever show you're in. But I find that just being very patient with myself throughout the day leading up to it, because it's almost like there's this like dread hanging over that particular performance, and it's nerve-wracking. It's the first time you're doing it in front of an audience. It's the first time that everything is coming together. There's so much riding on it, not just for your sake, but for the entire company, production, director. There's so much riding on that particular performance. I find I always suffer the most on opening nights. And I kind of have found myself to have this routine of, I wake up, I make sure I start my day correctly, and then as I'm going into the theatre, whether it be that we have rehearsals beforehand or whether we're just going in to get ourselves ready and do the performance, I like to kind of zone out from what it is that I'm actually meant to be doing. So I listen to music, or I talk to people. I find that I talk to my mum, I call my mum, speak to her. She's always been one to kind of help calm my nerves, and just keep myself occupied in other ways other than the show, right up until the beginner's call. And then I haven't really given myself the opportunity to think about it. I've just gone through my day as I would normally, and then step on stage and hope for the best.
Well, by that time you are so super prepared and excited, because stage fright is not all bad.
No, it's not. Absolutely not. As I say, if you can channel it to, and use it as a part of a performance, or as, I find some of the most amazing performances or shows I've had have been when I've either suffered from nerves or I've had adrenaline literally pumping around my veins, and it just becomes kind of out of body. It's like an out of body experience. It just happens. Muscle memory takes over, and it just happens. And some of the best shows I've done have been when I've been petrified.
That is so true. That adrenaline gives you that. It's then like when a dog rushes at you or, chases you and you can jump over a wall, which you otherwise would not have done.
It's so interesting what adrenaline can do. It really can. It really can. Is the most amazing thing, especially when you're on stage. I find as a performer, especially in live theatre, you always have that adrenaline, because no two nights are the same. Anything can happen. Anything can go wrong. I live for it personally.
Oh, that's the good thing, isn't it? And applause is...
It's addictive. It is so addictive.
It is. Definitely. Now, first tell us what's after, of course, we're all in this phase of lockdown, unfortunately. But once this tragic period is over, do you have any future plans?
I do have future plans. I do have a show that I am part of. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to say yet because it's not been announced, but it is a big show and it is going on tour around the island.
Wonderful. We're looking forward to that. Now, I'm not going to let you off that easily.
Okay.
I think you know what I want to ask. Georgina, please just give us a sample, just a taste. Oh.
What would you like me to sing?
Well, I know Starlight Express is your favorite.
Okay, I'll sing something. I haven't ever sung the show in English, so...
No, German is perfect. We love German.
Okay, I could maybe... I think I know it well enough in English.
Right, give it a try.
Okay. It's time to choose between the two of them. I'd better make a start. Someone help me make up my heart. Please tell me how to make up my heart.
You've just won Britain's Got Talent.
Oh, thanks. Gold buzzer.
Well done.
Thank you.
That is beautiful, Georgina. Thank you for joining us. That was most insightful, and I loved talking to you. I hope we can chat to you soon again once you're singing your way again through life.
Thank you so much for having me.
And that was Georgina Hagen, who sings on international stages and is a well-known performing artist. Until next time, when we'll see you again. Goodbye.
Post your questions on LinkedIn to Mariette Richardson or email them to mariette@myvoiceuk.com and include a photo, or ask your question in person in a short video clip. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more tips and say goodbye to performance uncertainty.